The body camera footage of a Canton police arrest turned deadly has been released. You can watch it on our YouTube. Just search 1480 WHBC YouTube and be sure to subscribe.
Live from the WHBC Broadcast Center. Find out more about area businesses, agencies, and events.
It's what's going on right now.
This is Spotlight.
And good morning and welcome to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC. Pam Cook with you this morning. And again, don't forget, we always want to remind you that if you would like to watch Spotlight, you can do that right now live on our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and search 1480 WHBC and make sure you subscribe, and then you'll be notified when we put some new items up or we're live. And there's a lot of good stuff there, so I want you to check that out. We're also live on our Facebook page, so make sure you like our Facebook page as well. Lots of good stuff going on. And today we're going to have a chance to talk about the First Lady's National Historic Site. And, you know, when it came to be back in the 90s, thanks to Mary Regula, you know, I was a young reporter here in Canton, and I was also thrilled. I was thrilled that this came about. And today I'm just as thrilled because I just think this is such a wonderful, wonderful thing that we have here in Canton, and we don't talk about it enough. And I think people are maybe a little bit not intimidated, but just don't really know a whole lot and want to know more. So that's why we have three special guests with us today, the First Lady's National Historic Site. And we welcome in Patty Dowd-Schmitz, who is the president and CEO of the First Lady's National Historic Site. Good morning, Patty.
Good morning, Pam. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm so glad we could talk. Also, we're going to bring in with us today the Director of Collections and Research, Michelle Gullion, and also we have the Director of Education, Stephanie Bonack. How are you, ladies? Good morning.
Good morning, Pam.
All right, so let's start with you first, Patty. I want you to give us a little bit of your background and how you came to Canton. Tell us a little bit about that first before we start talking about the First Lady's National Historic Site.
Absolutely. So I'm actually a North Canton native. So I grew up in North Canton. I went to Hoover High School, and then I went to college in Chicago. So I spent the last about 25 years of my career in the Chicago area. And then during the pandemic, I found myself back here in Canton and ended up taking on the role of president and CEO of the National First Ladies Library and Museum, which is the nonprofit that partners with the First Ladies National Historic Site, which is obviously a federal government Department of Interior National Historic Site.
That's a mouthful. But that's because there's so much happening, right? I mean,
right.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, talk a little bit about what is all included in this.
Sure. So we are one of only 3 national historic sites in the Northeast Ohio region. So we have First Lady's National Historic Site, and then obviously there's Cuyahoga Valley National Park up in Akron, Cleveland area. And then there's the President Garfield National Historic Site in Mentor. So we really pride ourselves in the fact that we're a national historic site. We have 2 buildings that are a part of the site. The first is the historic Saxton-McKinley House, which was the childhood home of Ida Saxton-McKinley, wife of President William McKinley, so First Lady Ida McKinley. And then we also have our First Lady's Library and Museum, and also called our Visitor Center, which is a separate building just a block north of the Saxton-McKinley House. And that houses over 5,000 artifacts and 1,000 research volumes about all of our nation's First Ladies that Mary Regula assembled back in the 90s. And our curator here, Director of Collections, Michelle, keeps loving care of here over the last almost 20 years. So it's really a wonderful site. We also have a little park that's on our historic site. So when visitors come, they get a chance to see the Saxton-McKinley House. They also get to see the museum itself, and then they can spend time outdoors in the park as well.
So that's the relationship. I mean, and that's how they work together. People can see both at the same time.
Yeah, so how I would describe it is the National Historic Site is the campus. It's the entire site, and then the library and museum. We are the nonprofit partner to the historic site, and we hold the collection of items, and we curate a number of exhibits for the museum, and then we also own the material, the artifacts that are housed in the Saxton-McKinley House. So we're all one thing. We're just partners between a nonprofit entity and a government entity.
When you came here, what was your impression of the whole thing?
Oh gosh, I was so excited when I came as a visitor in, I think it was the fall of 2022. I just came because I had come back to Canton, and I'm that, like many people, I have, grew up in Canton, North Canton, been back and forth my whole life. My parents lived here, and I'd been here numerous times, and I'd never actually been down to visit. So a friend of mine said, "Hey, let's go visit the First Lady site." And I thought, awesome. I am a big history buff, and also, have spent a lot of my career in the cultural arts and the historical museum space. And so for me, it was kind of a no-brainer to come down and see it. And when I did, I was like, I can't believe this is here right in Canton, Ohio. This is amazing. So the word we love to use a lot is sort of the hidden gem of Canton is the First Lady's National Historic Site. It's a place where people can come and learn all about American history, but through the eyes of the women who lived it, not necessarily through the eyes of the presidents who lived it. So it's a special place.
Yeah, and I think it grows and grows every year, and even more and more importance every year. I think as the light is shined on it, that's certainly something that many people are, you know, thrilled to hear that actually exists. Because
Mhm.
when you travel, do people know that it even exists?
No, I would say that they don't necessarily. And I think that that's one of my missions. I've been in this role now as president and CEO for the last year. And I come from a marketing and communications background. And I think that's one of my goals is to really help put us much more on the map, both locally and in the Northeast Ohio region, and obviously nationally. I would step back a little bit and say when Mary Regula founded this, so many people remember Ralph Regula. He was, obviously a very prominent congressman in this area back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And his wife, Mary, was a force to be reckoned with. And she really had a vision to want to elevate the status of the First Ladies nationally. And she did that by forming the First Ladies Library. That's what it was called initially, the First Ladies Library. And her vision was to bring into one place all of the scholarly material, as well as all of the items that they could find about the First Ladies. And so she had a major national presence when she started it. She had many first ladies. The first ladies that came when she opened it were Rosalind Carter and Laura Bush came, and Hillary Clinton came. And because Ralph Regula was such a prominent congressman in Washington, she had a definite presence in the Washington, D.C. area. And I think over, the last 25 years, Mary Regula passed away in 2018. And I think that national presence has just not had quite as much sway lately. So that's another of my goals, is to really reestablish those connections with Washington, D.C., and help bring into more national prominence again the First Lady's National Historic Site and the Library and Museum. So
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I remember Hillary Clinton and all of that, and yeah, I think it should be like on their agenda when they become First Lady. They need to come, don't you think?
Right. Absolutely. And I will say that we so Stephanie and Michelle and myself all had an opportunity back in last September, almost 9 months ago now. We went to Washington, D.C. to the White House Historical Association's Presidential Site Summit. It's a conference that they hold, and it's for all of the presidential sites from all over the country that are related to the presidents, and then obviously the first ladies in our case. And we had an opportunity to meet Jill Biden in person. She was the keynote speaker, and I had an opportunity to speak with her. And I believe that we are on her radar. I think she knows about us, and she obviously it's something that I think she would like to visit. I think it's all about scheduling, and obviously this is an election year, so their schedules are dictated by those types of travels. But it's really important to us to try to have as many first ladies visit this site as we can do. Not only Jill Biden, but obviously the other living first ladies: Melania Trump, Michelle Obama, Hillary Clinton, Laura Bush. Unfortunately, Rosalind Carter just passed away, but she was able to visit 25 years ago. So we're glad that she was able to do that.
All right, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, I want to talk to Michelle, and I'm not going to leave anybody out here, but I want to talk about some of those, things that are over there and what people can come and see and what that's like just to have those. I mean, it is right down the street from the radio station, and that's a pretty amazing thought for all of us. But the First Lady's National Historic Site, pretty awesome to have right here in Canton. And we'll talk more about that when we come back. And you're listening and watching Spotlight right here on 1480 WHBC.
1480 WHBC has always been there for you.
We here at 1480 WHBC continue that work.
Find more right now on WHBC.com.
The school year is coming to an end, and as you make the final preparations for your son or daughter's graduation party, we want to let you know that Canton Chair Rental can handle your last-minute emergency needs. We normally receive phone calls from panicked parents who just found out that their graduate posted their graduation party invitation on one of the social networks. So if you need a canopy or tent to provide extra room, or additional tables and chairs, table covers, or serving equipment to accommodate extra guests, give us a call or enter a request on our website, cantonchairrental.com. We can also turn your garage into additional usable space by lining it with pipe and drape in your school colors. If the weather becomes a concern and it may be unseasonably warm, we have tent fans to cool your guests and chill and fill tables and large coolers to keep your drinks cold. Are they predicting cold temperatures the day of your party? No problem. We have tent heaters too. Canton Chair Rental has over 35 years of graduation party planning experience. Let us help make your graduate's party an event to remember.
Are you searching for truth? Join our friendly church family to learn the truths of God's Word at Village Baptist Temple, located at 6322 Whipple Avenue Northwest in North Canton. Our service times are Sundays at 10:30 a.m. and 2 p.m., along with Bible study each Wednesday at 7 p.m. Check out our Facebook page, YouTube channel, and our website at villagebaptisttemple.com or call 330-494-4546. Each first-time visitor will receive a complimentary gift. We look forward to seeing you there.
Tune in each Saturday morning at 8 a.m. for the Money Matters radio show. Hosts Bob Foudy and David Ryan help you make your money matter. Find out how today's economy, debt levels, and policies affect your hard-earned money. You've made your money. Now it's time to watch it grow. Tune in to the hour-long Money Matters radio show every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. right here on News Talk 1480 WHBC. To speak to Bob Foudy or Dave Ryan about your money matters, call New Horizon Financial Group in Canton at 330-499-1915. 330-499-1915.
Do you want a job that is flexible, secure, and fun? It also offers excellent pay and is ranked as one of the best jobs in America, too. I'm talking about being a dental hygienist. And all you have to do is complete a 2-year program after high school. Visit ODA.org to learn more and to start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
Imagine having all the money you need for retirement, all the income, every month, guaranteed. That's Secure Future Investor, an indexed annuity tied to growth in the stock market, but without any risk of loss ever. It's guaranteed money for life income, no matter how long you live. Call 888-509-2228. 888-509-2228. Sponsored by GP Agency, Inc., Raleigh, North Carolina. Licensed in all states. Performance may vary. Consult with your financial professional before making an investment decision.
Every day, Cintas service reps help businesses get ready for the workday. They provide freshly laundered workwear delivered every week. Mats, mops, restroom and cleaning supplies. First aid and safety products to help your employees stay safe. They even test and inspect fire extinguishers and emergency lights. Cintas helps keep your business running smoothly. See what Cintas can do for you. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Think identity theft won't happen to you? Think again. There's a new victim every 3 seconds in the U.S., over 15 million this year alone, and many don't even know they're victims. LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could miss even when you monitor your credit. If your identity's stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% their first year with my name, Clay, as the promo code at lifelock.com.
Ad paid for by the Sentinel Group. Attention Marines, military personnel, families, and contractors who were stationed at Camp Lejeune. Were you present at Camp Lejeune between August 1953 and December of 1987? You may be entitled to significant compensation. For nearly 34 years, those in the Marine Corps' base Camp Lejeune were exposed to contaminated drinking water, resulting in devastating injuries, including several forms of cancer, adverse birth outcomes, Parkinson's disease, and more. North Carolina's procedural laws have prevented victims from getting the justice they deserve, but passage of the Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022 would allow you or a loved one to file lawsuits seeking compensation for illnesses and injuries linked to the toxic water. Call today for your free consultation. 800-301-9153. Let our experienced attorneys fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call 800-301-9153. That's 800-301-9153. Again, 800-301-9153.
We used to argue about whose turn it was to clean the gutters, but then I had leaf filter gutter protection installed.
Wait, I told you Leaf Filter had free inspections and estimates and a lifetime guarantee.
Meaning we never have to argue about whose turn it is to clean the gutters again.
But I visited leaffilter.com/beacon first.
No, I did.
It doesn't matter who. Visit leaffilter.com/beacon to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per
Label! Actually, how about you just beat the pitch clock? You'll have 20 seconds to test your baseball smarts. If you beat the pitch clock, you win a family 4-pack of tickets to see the Cleveland Guardians. Gotta be quick. 20 seconds goes fast. Canton's Morning News baseball ticket giveaway. All month long. 1480 WHBC.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
And welcome back on this Wednesday morning to Spotlight. I'm Pam Cook with you, and we have been talking about the First Lady's National Historic Site and all of its wonder right down the street from the radio station on Market Avenue, 205 Market Avenue South in Canton. And we have with us the president and CEO, Patty Dowd-Schmitz, and also we have the Director of Collections and Research, Michelle Gullion, with us today. And also we have the Director of Education, Stephanie Bonack. And we're going to go to Michelle right now. I want to talk about the collections and research job because, boy, that's the fun stuff. You know, there you have to cut. It could be very, scary if you aren't making sure that everything's good to go. Talk about, first of all, your job. What is that like?
Well, I have the best job in the whole world, I think. I do a lot. What I do is take care of the collections, and that includes everything from accessioning them into the collection, storing them correctly, seeing what needs they need, always keeping records on what's going on display, how long it goes on display, because we have all kinds of materials. It's everything from very delicate fabrics up to, things like pottery and plates and things like that, ceramics. So it's quite the variety of things that you have to keep your eye on.
And how do you get the collections? I mean, do you go searching for them or people donate them? How does that work?
Both. You're absolutely right. We search for them all the time. Keep eyes on, auctions, things like that come available. And also donors, people. That's the best. It's harder and harder all the time to find those people, but sometimes they're relatives who pass away that they didn't know they had certain things and they're looking for a home. And that's always delightful to find those things.
Do you have any favorites?
I do. Actually, I have so many favorites. My favorite thing of all, believe it or not, are letters. The first ladies, when they write letters, that to me is, that they're writing to someone that they don't think anyone's going to ever read this. This is a dialogue between them and the person that they're writing. And sometimes you just find the best information just from what they're telling them, that it's very unguarded. They're just telling them their own thoughts. Those are my favorite.
Yeah. Any interesting ones there that, maybe people would be surprised to see?
Oh, well, the one I always talk about, it is my very favorite, is a letter by Lucretia Garfield, who was a First Lady very briefly in 1881. Her husband, James A. Garfield, actually from Ohio, was assassinated very shortly, 90 days into his presidency. He was shot, and then it took another 90 days for him to die. Very, very tragic. But there were all these doctors that took care of him there in the White House because it was such a slow, lingering death. And just, it's so sad. But anyway, she after his death, the Congress needed to settle with the doctors. How much do we owe them for taking care of the president? And there was one, believe it or not, there was one woman doctor. Her name was Dr. Susan Edson. And she was actually the Garfield's family doctor. So she was when they were all tallying things up, it came out in the newspaper that Dr. Edson was, all the other doctors were getting $10,000, and Dr. Susan Edson was getting $5,000. And so Lucretia Garfield writes to the head of the congressional committee who's in charge of this and says, she actually uses the word, this is a discrimination against Dr. Susan Edson. She gave more care than any of those other doctors. And she needed to be paid the same amount as they did.
Oh my gosh.
And then when it was finally settled in the newspapers, it came out, Dr. Susan Edson was getting $10,000 along with all the other doctors. So that's pretty cool. That's my favorite.
That's pretty amazing.
It is.
When you think back in that day and time, I mean, and that's very historic.
Right.
Are you able to put out all of the artifacts at the same time, or how do you choose all?
No, we have a pretty small space, really. And then also, a lot of times people love the clothing. That's what people love. They love the things they wore, hats, gloves. Those are also the most delicate artifacts. Material is affected by light, by heat, by the temperature, the humidity, those types of things all affect a garment. Also, just bodily perspirations, things like that. It all takes a toll on these artifacts. So you have to be very careful with the clothing. So we rotate them. I do a lot of keeping records of how long were they out, how long do we need to store them. Basically, when you are storing, when you show a dress for, let's say, 1 month, that is equal to how many that it should be rested for 1 year.
Oh,
so
wow.
you can imagine if you have something out for 6 months, that means it needs to rest. It should go into storage. It shouldn't be seen for another 6 years. And for certain materials, and let's say, I know that Martha Washington at Mount Vernon, they have a pair of shoes that Martha Washington wore. They only show those every 25 years. And, they bring them out for just this short amount of time. But if they don't, they'll disintegrate.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, I've been here 19 years, and I can tell you, I can tell the deterioration on the material, even as carefully as you try. They're very delicate, unfortunately.
Yeah, that has to be scary, I mean,
It is. Wow. It's a huge responsibility.
Yeah, I can only imagine. And you have special displays, I would think, too, right? Do you have?
Right. We're always, your ideal is to have a case that is self-contained, and they're getting better at this all the time. You want something that's makes its own microcosm into the macrocosm. You've got this a very sealed space with limited light that you can adjust how much light it gets. And again, it doesn't get everyday air coming in. It just kind of seals up. And those things, as you can imagine, are very expensive. But, that's just the name of the game. So that's part of the reason when you come to see things in a museum. They're just being as careful as they can so that we can keep them as long as we can.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take our break for the news right now. When we come back, we're going to talk to Stephanie. Because I know people are listening to this and they're going to want to come to see everything that you have at the First Lady's National Historic Site. And we'll talk more with Patty, of course, as well. We have so many things to discuss today as we talk about this. It's such a wonderful gem, as we have said, right here in downtown Canton, the First Lady's National Historic Site. It is our spotlight today, right here on 1480 WHBC.
They say nothing's free in this world.
Anybody want a free sample?
Well, our website is.
Get free stuff.
Check out all this stuff, all for free. News, sports stories, podcasts, and more.
And it's free.
All at WHBC.com.
Call Crown Heating and Cooling today. With Crown, estimates are always free. Let them show you how much you can save when you trust the carrier experts at Crown. Call 330-499-4988 or visit them on the web at crowngroupohio.com. Ohio license number 27133. Spring cleaning starts with clean water. Call Verndale Water Experts and schedule their $49 softener checkup and sanitation service. Get pure perfection with Verndale Water Experts.
Tap into Verndale's Water Center.
WHBC AM 10, reliable as ever on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
From the News Talk 1480 WHBC newsroom, the person who died after falling from the stands at Ohio Stadium Sunday during OSU's commencement ceremony was 53-year-old Larissa Brady. Police say they do not suspect foul play or an accidental fall from the stands. Although an official cause of death has not yet been released, there is word that the woman who was there to see a family member graduate committed suicide. The university is offering counseling for those who want it. A lawmaker from Findlay has introduced a bill in Columbus that would make not wearing a seatbelt a primary violation. Much like using your cell phone while driving used to be, wearing a seatbelt is secondary. Police have to pull you over for something else before they can cite you for not being buckled up. The bill would allow officers to stop motorists if they see them driving unbuckled. There seems to be support from other lawmakers and the governor. Well over half of young adults in the United States say they would not live in a state that has banned abortion. That's according to a survey conducted by CNBC and Generation Lab, which also reveals 32% of people between the ages of 18 and 34 say they probably wouldn't live in a state that bans abortion, while 30% say they definitely wouldn't. However, that would change if there's a job waiting for them. Just more than 55% of respondents said they would not be dissuaded from accepting a job over the abortion issue. In sports, the Cleveland Cavaliers had a hard time keeping up with the Boston Celtics last night. They lost game one of their second round series, 120-95. They'll play game two in Boston tomorrow night. You'll hear it right here on 1480 WHBC. Guardians also had a tough night. They lost to Detroit 11-7. They have a day game today. Pre-game is at 12:35. First pitch at 1:05 here on 1480. I'm Pam Cook.
Your severe weather station, News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast. Partly to mostly cloudy and warm overnight. Couple of heavy thunderstorms. Those storms can bring flash flooding and damaging winds. Low 62. Very warm. Clouds and sun for Wednesday. High 80. Cloudy Wednesday night with occasional rain and a thunderstorm. The low 55. Rather cloudy and cooler Thursday. Couple of showers and a thunderstorm. High 62. Get your weather news when and how you want it wherever you are. Download our free app or visit AccuWeather.com. I'm Drew Shannon for News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Medicine Center pharmacies have been serving our local community for over 40 years. Our customers know they can count on our pharmacy staff, save money, and trust us. Stop by any of our Medicine Center pharmacy locations in Canton, Louisville, Minerva, and New Philadelphia, or visit us online at medshoprx.com.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Your Retirement Game Plan with Ben Grosco of Integrated Wealth Management every Saturday morning at 11:30 to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Listen Saturday mornings at 11:30 to Your Retirement Game Plan with Ben Grosco.
Investment advisory services offered through Integrated Wealth Management, Inc., an SEC-registered investment advisor.
As a roofer, spring means the start of my busy season, which means I've got to get organized. With help from Beacon, I can save time with Beacon Pro Plus and 24/7 access to live pricing, delivery tracking, order history, and more. Plus, this spring, I can earn $1,000 and the chance to win a $25,000 backyard renovation just by buying my CertainTeed shingles online with Beacon. No purchase necessary. Now that's what I call a spring cleanup. Visit BECN.com for official rules and to start earning entries.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
All right, we are back and Spotlight today, First Lady's National Historic Site. And again, just a reminder that you can find us on our YouTube channel live right now and also on our Facebook page. So just visit both of those, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and you can go and check these out if you missed anything this morning, or if you just want to check out all the other things that we have as well. We would love for you to do that. And as I mentioned, when this all came about back in the 90s, I was so thrilled to have this come to Canton, Ohio, thanks to Mary Regula. And I am still so thrilled that it's just right down the street, and glad that we're having a chance to talk about it so more folks can come and see it and take part in it and understand why it's here. And that's what we're doing today. And I'm glad to welcome in the president and CEO of the First Lady's National Historic Site, Patty Dowd-Schmitz. And also we have the Director of Collections and Research, Michelle Gullion, and also Director of Education, Stephanie Bonack. And Stephanie, we don't want to leave you out any longer because we know you have a lot to talk about as well. Talk about visiting the site. I mean, people probably drive by there. It's a beautiful, beautiful house, the campus itself. So, the whole thing is just gorgeous. And, they're wondering, when can I go there? And how do I get inside? And do I have to get a ticket? Are there tours? All those things. I mean, how do people find out about that?
Absolutely. Often they call me, which is great because I love to get to talk to our guests and our participants. But our site is entirely free and open to the public. As Patty mentioned, we're located inside kind of what we say is our visitor center on the site. Our new exhibit, Leaders in Literacy, is completely free and open to the public as long as we're open, which right now we're in our summer hours, which is Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So you can come and wander that exhibit at your own leisure, as well as we have a temporary exhibit down in the lower level that is First Ladies on the Campaign Trail that Michelle worked very diligently on. She even let me help sometimes, which was a treat. So that entire building is free and open to the public. We do offer, because we're partnered with the National Park Service, we do offer public tours at 10 a.m., noon, and 2 p.m. through the National Park Service. Those are $6 per senior, anyone 62 and up, $7 per adult. And they also have a number, if you have America the Beautiful Pass, if you're a veteran, they have discounts for that as well. Now, personally, what I do when a lot of people call me is I often help book private tours with myself and Michelle, and we have a couple options there as well. We do those often when we're open, but we have also done them when we are closed to the public just to help curate the ideal experience for a group. So we can offer a tour of the Leaders in Literacy exhibit where Michelle gives her expert knowledge about what the collection holds, about the incredible authentic dresses that we currently have on display, and highlight how important even our modern First Ladies really are leaders in literacy, as well as some of our maybe lesser known First Ladies. So we offer that. I help organize those with Michelle. And then we also offer a combination tour. So if the group is a little too large for our public offered tours, we'll also book private tours of both the Leaders in Literacy exhibit as well as the Saxton House. So there are a lot of options. It's just depending on what fits your fancy.
Yeah, and your website's great. There's a lot of good information at your website too. People could probably go there and and get some information as well, correct?
Yes.
And as you are taking people, through the museum and giving them the tours, I mean, what do you see as their reaction? How are they feeling about it?
Absolutely. Most often or not, I'm sure Michelle could agree. A lot of people are surprised. They don't realize how fundamental these first ladies are to not only local history, for example, Ida McKinley and other Ohioan first ladies, but also how instrumental they are in national history, in national fundraising campaigns, and how much there is a true sisterhood among other first ladies. In a world where often women are pitted against each other, you don't often see that. In fact, you see, if you do your research, you see a lot of first ladies staying in contact with one another. Some visit the White House even after they've left. Others maintain a strong correspondence with former first ladies. So I think more often than not, they're surprised by how important and instrumental these women are in American history.
Would you say, and any one of you can answer this, would you say that also it's important that you see that the first ladies were instrumental in some of the success of their husbands as well?
Absolutely. We would definitely say that. And that's kind of the point of our First Ladies on the Campaign Trail exhibit too, is highlighting how instrumental a lot of modern first ladies are in the actual campaign. As Patty was mentioning, Jill Biden is probably very aware that it's a campaign year, and she's instrumental in presidential success, as have all the other first ladies have been instrumental in empowering their husbands. And often, for example, Ida McKinley herself was McKinley's political confidant, who let her in on some of the most private conversations and meetings that you would never know about, which is one of the great things about our site, is that we're able to tell American history then through the eyes of first ladies.
And the ladies' literacy, tell me about that. That's what's going on right now, correct?
Yes, that is our brand new exhibit. It actually just opened up officially in May. We're very excited about it. It is a fully expansive exhibit. It is extraordinary. It exhibits over a dozen first ladies who are teachers, educators, or advocates of literacy. So that can be anyone from Abigail Fillmore in the One Room Schoolhouse, all the way up to what you would think of Laura and Barbara Bush and their literacy efforts, and then continuing on even into our most current administration. So it's quite expansive. I think guests will be surprised. I didn't know that they were a teacher. I didn't know that they were, involved in literacy. A lot of people don't recognize that Lady Bird Johnson was highly involved in the Head Start program. She was kind of their national figurehead. And a lot of people don't realize that program is still very much going on and strong. I'm in the Akron area, and it has a huge presence in Akron public schools even. So lasting legacies.
And what about the Jackie O? That was fabulous. I know that was very, very popular, as anything that involves her is. But Patty, what was your reaction with that?
Well, I say Jackie was a gift. So she, I would say, did more to probably put our site on the map in the last year than probably anything has done in a long time. And that exhibit was in the works for at least a couple of years, even before I came on in this position. Michelle had really worked hard with my predecessor and a man named Monty Durham, who many people might know as, he's from TLC's Say Yes to the Dress, Atlanta. And he's a celebrity, and he was an avid Jackie Kennedy collector. And he actually had made the only exact replica dress of Jackie Kennedy's wedding dress in the world. And he donated that to the National First Ladies Library and Museum, along with his entire Jackie Kennedy collection from his home in Alexandria, Virginia. So a year ago, we had all of that on display for the last year. And it was extraordinary to see how many people just could not get enough of Jackie Kennedy. We actually doubled our attendance at the historic site last summer during tourism season. And then we increased it overall by about 50% for the entire year. And then we had, I think, what was almost our highest month of attendance this past April, when we were promoting that the exhibit would be going off display, and people just really scurried to get down here to see it. Jackie obviously is an icon. We talk a little bit about first ladies as American icons, and Jackie was that. She was an iconic first lady who everyone just revered for so many reasons, whether, you were a Republican or a Democrat. People crossed party lines in their love of Jackie Kennedy. And we saw that this past year with how many people really wanted to come down and learn a lot more about her life. And one of the things we talk a lot about that we were able to do with Jackie Kennedy is we talk about the entire life of the First Lady. So many people, when they think of a First Lady, they tend to think of those 4 or 8 years that they're in office. And in Jackie Kennedy's case, it was actually less than 1,000 days, given that, President Kennedy was assassinated just less than 3 years into his term. So for Jackie, she was only there 1,000 days, but her entire life, from the time she was born into wealth on the East Coast and all the way through her many intellectual pursuits, she was a very smart, educated, cultured woman, and she wanted to always be a writer. And she always wanted to have a career. Famously, her yearbook from her high school graduation stated that her ambition in 1947, her ambition was not to be a housewife, which was a crazy ambition for someone in 1947, right?
Yeah.
So we talk a lot about how the whole life of the woman really shows through. And Jackie Kennedy accomplished a great deal in her life, even after the assassination. She had probably I'd say about a 10-year period where she went through what today we would call PTSD. Obviously, her husband essentially died in her arms on November 22nd, 1963. And she had a decade where she struggled with all of that. But then she reemerged as a book editor for Viking Press and Doubleday, and spent almost 20 years in a career editing over 100 books for those two companies. And she was just an extraordinary woman in her own right. Many people don't know that she was responsible for turning the White House into a national museum, a historic site that still exists today. It's the closest thing we have to a palace in this country, right? And Jackie Kennedy was responsible for making sure that happened. And then she was also responsible for saving Grand Central Station in New York from destruction in the 70s. So these women Jackie's just a great example. Many people think of her for her fashion, her clothes, her breathy voice, the things that, they know of her from that time she was in the administration, the Camelot years, right? But she was an amazing woman in her own right. And she just deserved everything that we gave to her over the last year. Michelle curated an amazing exhibit, and Monty Durham, just, so many thanks to him for donating his collection to us. And it was a really great way to help put ourselves on the map a little bit more, because Jackie is such a popular First Lady. And I think it gave us a platform to help illustrate how we can talk about these women as truly extraordinary women in their own right. So It's been an amazing year with all of that, for sure.
That was wonderful. It was wonderful. All right, we'll take our final break. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about the future and what it holds for the National First Ladies Historic Site. And we will do that right here on Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
They say nothing's free in this world. Well, our website is.
Get free stuff, news, podcasts, sports, weather, and more, all at WHBC.com. Local news at WHBC.com.
A monthly subscription?
A monthly subscription?
That's not us.
No paywall here, just the facts. News, sports, and weather.
Free and easy. That's our website, WHBC.com.
I'm Pam Cook for St. Joseph Senior Living. I've been talking about all the wonderful things at St. Joe's in Louisville for years now. But what's new? There's so much, and it's all for you and your loved ones. Of course, they offer assisted living, long-term living nursing care, a beautiful memory care support unit, and independent living at the Alsatian. But they now offer a brand new wellness center for short-term rehab. This beautiful center offers private suites, state-of-the-art therapy equipment and space, delicious meals, and engaging activity. If you have an acute health episode or a decline in health, they'll work with you to map your recovery. It's worth a visit to see what they have to offer. Making these kinds of decisions for you or a loved one is never easy, but a visit to St. Joe's will show you exactly the help and care you can get. Take a look at their Facebook page. You can also visit them on Reno Drive in Louisville, right behind St. Thomas Aquinas High School. And the website, great place to start, stjosephseniorliving.org.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go.
The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the DIO.
Every day, Cintas service reps help businesses get ready for the workday. They provide freshly laundered workwear delivered every week. Mats, mops, restroom and cleaning supplies. First aid and safety products to help your employees stay safe. They even test and inspect fire extinguishers and emergency lights. Cintas helps keep your business running smoothly. See what Cintas can do for you. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Want to keep your gas-powered engines running like new? Stable's proprietary formulas are proven by third-party testing to outperform the competition in keeping fuel fresh, preventing corrosion, and cleaning the entire fuel system. With Stable, you can have confidence you are doing the right thing for your engine's long-term health. Just pour into your gas can or fuel tank, then top off with fresh fuel. At every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable. Available where fuel additives are sold.
Not to brag, but Progressive's Name Your Price tool is mankind's greatest tool ever. Even better than the wheel. Sure, without the wheel, we wouldn't have modern transportation or funny videos of dogs riding skateboards. But without the Name Your Price tool, we wouldn't have easy access to auto insurance options based on our budget. And, well, cars do need wheels. They also need insurance, and insurance never goes flat. Learn more about the greatest tool ever, the Name Your Price tool at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC. back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
All right, welcome back to Spotlight, and it is First Lady's National Historic Site that we've been talking about this morning. And Patty, Michelle, and Stephanie all have been filling us in on what's been happening at the First Lady's National Historic Site, and so many wonderful things there. Right on Market Avenue in downtown Canton, an opportunity for you to go and stop by and see exactly what they have there. I suggest that you visit their website. You can take a look around. You can decide if you want to go with a family member or a friend, or if you want to take a tour and do something maybe for the kids this summer. It's a historical thing. It's something that's very, very enjoyable. But I want to talk to the ladies again. I know we were having a technical difficulty there for a minute, so I hope we can get the ladies back just for one final segment. Yep, we do. Okay, very good. I mean, what are we looking towards the future for, Patty? I know you have a lot of things in your mind that you're hoping to achieve.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have a couple of exciting years coming up here. So next year in 2025 is the 25th anniversary of us becoming a National Historic Site. So you're really going to start seeing us leverage our 25th anniversary in terms of just exhibits that we'll be doing and being out in the community, and also potentially some fundraising campaigns as well. As Michelle mentioned, we're really looking to take a look at how we can modernize some of the things that we have in the site, and our dress cases and some of our infrastructure things that need some upgrades. So we'll be talking about that. But even more exciting, I would say, is in 2 years, in 2026, is America 250, which is the 250th birthday of our country. And I know that I'm dating myself, but I'm old enough to remember 1976, the 200th anniversary. And it was quite a special time in this country. And so we're really looking forward to being able to be a leader and a participant in that, as Canton and Northeast Ohio and even our entire country celebrates America 250. And we have the opportunity very specifically to talk about how the First Ladies played a role in that. So we're just really excited about what's on the horizon for, the National First Ladies Library Museum at the historic site. And I also just want to mention too that Stephanie did an amazing job talking about all the things that you can see when you come here. But we've also put a lot of effort in the last year, I would say, into making the site much more kid-friendly. So we even have right now a replica one-room schoolhouse on our second floor of the museum that children can come and sit in the old desks and draw on the slate with their slate pencils on the slates. And it's a cool experience for kids. We have a lot of interactive activities for children, and that's important to us, to be able to say to people that you can bring your whole family here, and they will not only learn about the First Ladies and get an immersive experience in that, but have an opportunity for their children to learn at their level and their pace as well. So we just have so many exciting plans for the coming years. I would say, just looking ahead at creating new and exciting exhibits about all of our First Ladies and all the ways that they were what we like to call American icons. They were truly ladies of merit in their own right, and we just love bringing out their stories.
And I can't wait to hear it all and see it all, that's for sure. And the phone number, 330-452-0876. And you can set up a tour or go visit. And I urge you to just take the time, because it's so enjoyable. And can't wait to talk to you ladies again. We'll have to do this again very soon.
Absolutely. Well, we really appreciate the opportunity, Pam. Thank you so much. And we just invite the community to come down and check us out, because it's a great site worth visiting. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.